My wife tricked me into having an open marriage, so I left her for someone much better. I've been grappling with my existence for several years now. I can't distinguish between right and wrong anymore. I don't blame anyone but myself for this. I let my wife do whatever she wanted just to have a happy marriage. I followed her down that path, knowing I didn't like it, but I did it anyway to keep her happy. I needed a place to vent my heart without hesitation. Who else but a stranger could I tell that I let my wife sleep with other men to keep her happy? I've been married to my wife, Bonnie, 32 years old, for 7 years. We had known each other for a long time. Bonnie is my best friend's sister, and we were part of the same social circle since our early 20s. At first, we dated different people, but by our late 20s, we fell in love and got married. We had a beautiful marriage. Our social circle was shared, and we had known each other for a long time. For the first 3 or 4 years, we didn't face any serious challenges in our relationship. There were minor disagreements, which were normal, but after that, she started complaining about our boring life. She always had complaints about how our relationship was losing its spark. It took me some time to understand what she was getting at. I'll get to that eventually. We were doing everything to keep our marriage fresh. We went on dates, hiked, went on vacations, to parties, played games. We did everything we used to do during our dating days. Strangely, she wasn't saying what she really wanted from me. She just complained and lamented about being bored. When I asked her what she wanted me to do, she told me to research, that there were many new things happening, that people were experimenting with new things to keep their intimate life exciting. So I researched. I suggested various ways to spice things up. We started with role-playing games, intimate osses, and then slowly moved to BDSM. We even took a crash course for it. Yes, it was shocking for me too. I had no idea it existed. There are professional trainers who train you for these things. It was fun. I had no complaints. Everything we did was within the boundaries of marriage, and there was no third person involved between us. Our relationship improved, but my problem wasn't resolved. Bonnie loved every new thing we tried, but her happiness didn't last long. She got bored quickly and always wanted something new. It was like drugs for her. The initial dose that makes you happy doesn't satisfy you when you do it over and over. You always want more. After a year of this, I ran out of ideas and almost gave up, but we still continued with the things I mentioned earlier. Things got wild after our trip to South Asia. We stayed on a public island in South Asia and found several massage parlors there. There was something strange about those massage centers. First, they advertised erotic massage and your private masseuse. Second, one of the highlights on the billboard said, your identity is confidential. Like, what the hell? Bonnie was intrigued by the whole thing and researched more about it. It was about receiving a massage from the opposite gender with a major focus on private parts. I rolled my eyes and let it pass, but Bonnie didn't. She insisted I try it at least once. She portrayed it as some cultural Asian thing, but trust me, it wasn't. On the day of our return, we finally tried it. So I went into the private booth, and there was a woman in a bikini waiting for me. I lay down, she started with a back massage, and literally threw herself on me. I could feel her front, you know what I mean, on my back. Then she asked if I wanted her to take her clothes off. I panicked and said no. I asked her to stop. Honestly, I thought it was some kind of scam or trap. I got dressed quickly and ran out of the booth. I called Bonnie, but she didn't answer. I asked about her at the reception and found out she was inside, enjoying the session. I was anxious, not knowing what to do. I saw a man who seemed to be from the United States. With a lot of hesitation, I approached him and asked if this was what they did inside, and he said yes, they offered all kinds of services, not just the massage. Literally, everything means everything. He assured me it wasn't a scam, but they charged for all the additional services. I was partially relieved that Bonnie wasn't caught in a scam, but I feared what was happening inside. After a couple of hours, she came out with a wide smile on her face. Her young masseur followed her to the front door, smiling and talking flirtatiously, and she reciprocated. We left, and she asked me how it was. I was like, you knew what goes on in there? She rolled her eyes and said yes. I asked her if she liked it, and she smiled and said yes, it was so much fun. The guy was so good at his job that she just wanted more and more of him. I asked her what she did, and she said normal stuff, erotic massage and some action with the tongue down there. She nodded and made me feel like it was all normal. That's how we got into the game of real exploration. We returned home, and she wouldn't stop talking about the benefits of the massage. I told her I had no problem with a normal spa and massage that we frequently got, but not with that erotic stuff. But she convinced me to try a couples massage once. After some resistance, I agreed to try it together. We called a professional masseur to our house, and he did what he had to do. Bonnie was usually very happy and excited during this whole phase. Our relationship really shone, and I felt like we were newlyweds again, who just couldn't get enough of each other. This continued for a few months, and as usual, Bonnie's excitement faded sooner than I anticipated. One day she came and said, "You know, the couples who open their marriage are the ones who live happily ever after because they're bound by love and not by any other limits." She finally got to the point that we should open our marriage too. Obviously, I freaked out. She showed me several research articles that backed her claim. I told her we already had professionals coordinating these things, threesomes, BDSM, etc. She said she no longer enjoyed it with professionals and now wanted to try it with normal people. She showed me many married couples who were into this, swinging and stuff like that, and had long, happy marriages. I still wasn't convinced. When she suggested we try it with one of those married couples and see how it went, she promised we'd stop if I didn't feel comfortable. I agreed to give it a shot. I won't say it wasn't fun or that I didn't enjoy it, I did, but it felt like taking an illegal substance. You know how it feels. It gives you pleasure and you enjoy the highs, but when you wake up the next morning, you feel bitter about your choice. You feel empty. Eventually, we got into all kinds of things, swinging, casual encounters, and so on. Each time it was like, let's do it once, and then it was, okay, this will be the last time. All this continued for over 2 or 3 years. Initially, I used to stay silent after each session, but then I stopped thinking about it. Maybe everything happened so fast that I couldn't process it and just went along with it. As a side note, yes, our relationship strengthened. We didn't fight, and Bonnie was usually happy. We set some ground rules like no emotional cheating, never doing it with anyone in our bedroom, not hiding anything from each other. If we ever felt something for someone, we'd stop seeing them and tell each other. About a year ago, I met this woman, Ela, and felt she had the vibe I was looking for. Yes, before that, let me tell you that my number of casual encounters was much, much lower than Bonnie's. Women generally have an easier way of finding men. Bonnie created a dating profile for me, but my problem was that I was looking for people with similar mindsets. But the people on that platform wanted action, not vibes. So after a while, I stopped trying aggressively. Back to Ela, I met her at work. She had recently gone through a breakup and was single at the time. She was a contracted employee hired to help me on a short-term project. Over a year, we connected over work, and eventually I told her about my marital status. She was shocked that Bonnie and I were so open-minded. She and I started meeting outside work hours, and yes, we started a physical relationship. But the problem was that I was getting emotionally attached to her, not just in bed. I wanted to see her outside. I stopped chatting with other women, and even when someone approached me, I avoided them. My relationship with Bonnie wasn't going well. Although we lived in the same house, we had our own worlds. Yes, we were there for each other when we needed our better half, but the love was slowly slipping away. Before meeting Ela, there were moments when I wanted to get out of this. I even discussed with Bonnie that we'd had enough of all this and should go back to a monogamous relationship, but she wasn't ready yet. She said it was fine, but not now, that we were still young and hadn't explored enough. Then I met Ela and I stopped complaining to Bonnie. After a few months, I realized I was getting serious about Ela, which meant I was emotionally cheating on Bonnie. So I confronted Bonnie and told her everything. She went crazy. She said it was indeed cheating and that I should stop seeing her immediately. I tried to resist, but she gave me a choice, Ela or her. I chose my marriage and gradually distanced myself from Ela. Ela understood my coldness, and by then her contract was about to end, and she left the office. I felt lonely again. More than lonely, I had anger and frustration toward Bonnie. This wasn't the life I wanted. A week ago, I was sitting in the living room and Bonnie was in the shower. Her phone was vibrating. And out of curiosity, I snooped. We never checked each other's phones. I mean, we knew what we were both doing, so what was the point? There were incoming messages from someone saved as future. I opened the chat and found out she was in a relationship with this man, and the most shocking revelation, she was planning to divorce me, and he was doing the same with his wife. It gave me chills down my spine. I looked through other chats but didn't find any. She wasn't chatting or seeing anyone else but this man. I checked the timeline and found out they'd been in a relationship for over a year. Even when I confessed about Ela, she was swearing her love to this man and still didn't tell me. and instead asked me to end things with Ella. I wanted to confront her right there, but by then, I had become numb. I don't really feel anything. So I just put the phone back and pretended nothing happened. Bonnie and I are practically strangers living in the same house. After a week of knowing this, I no longer feel anger. It's more of a betrayal. I'm having an existential crisis. What have I done with my life? I don't want to confront her. I just want to disappear from here. I have an appointment with a therapist, but that's in 4 days. I also have to sort out other things, but not before releasing my emotions. So here I am. I know I invited my misery, and now I have to deal with it. Update 1. Thank you for the incredible support. It really means a lot. I knew I'd be called weak, foolish, and all sorts of names. Maybe I am. A stranger's comment can't hurt you more than a betrayal from your loved ones. I've attended 2 sessions with a therapist, and it helped clear my mind. Basically, I had 2 options: confront her and blow up her plot, or quietly resolve my issues before they strike. I went with the second option. I withdrew my contribution from the joint account. I wanted to change jobs because this one was close to Bonnie, and under no circumstances did I want to run into her. I discussed this with my boss, and he said there might be a vacancy in another location, but it was in the next city. I told him I didn't care. It still has to be finalized. Regarding Bonnie's plan to divorce me and my counterattack of ignoring her, I reached out to Ella. She said she felt sorry for me, but wanted to stay out of this mess. I respect that. Regarding infidelity, emotional cheating isn't legally recognized. It's not like infidelity is penalized in the States, but it plays a role in alimony. A gentleman from this community warned me that a good lawyer can make the difference between alimony and the settlement. I hired one of the best lawyers in town. A bit expensive, but I hope it's worth it. He assured me he'd save me from alimony because Bonnie earned a considerably good salary, if not more. He asked me to remove her as my nominee from all kinds of legal documents and insurance. That's still in process. So yeah, that's it for now. Thank you again for all the support. I look forward to comments, both good and bad. Update 2. I have a pretty significant update this time. As I mentioned in my last post, I had almost sorted everything out before serving her the divorce papers. The divorce papers were ready. Before that, I had thought of several ways to burst her bubble, but when the time came, all I wanted was peace. I wanted to move out quietly. So I did that. While she was at work, I packed up and moved out. I left the signed divorce papers on the table with my lawyer's contact and a note that said, "I saved you the time and energy of preparing divorce papers for me. Here you go." By the time she got home and found the note, I was already in my new apartment in the next city. My boss helped me secure a transfer to a different office location and found a place nearby. I haven't informed many people about this place, just my brother, my parents, and yes, Ella. I'll get to that in a moment. Bonnie tried to contact me, but I had blocked her on all platforms. I could see her calls and voicemails piling up in the blocked folder. I knew she'd get my message. She's not dumb. After a while, I got a call from her brother, my college friend who introduced Bonnie to the group. I didn't answer. He sent me an angry voicemail asking me to talk to Bonnie. It was like, "How dare you ignore my sister for your lust? If you don't come clean, I'll find you and your lover wherever you are. You can't hide from me." What the hell? I opened some of Bonnie's messages and found out she was accusing me of cheating on her with Ella. This was just disgusting. She was saving her reputation but sabotaging mine. Instead of responding to her calls, I sent her brother the screenshots where Bonnie was discussing divorcing me with her lover. He responded, "We can talk. I don't understand what you guys are up to." I told him I didn't want to discuss this over the phone and asked him to meet me in the afternoon. He came calmly. I told him I didn't want to involve him because she's his sister. I briefly told him what had happened between us. Not the details I've elaborated on here, but a summarized version. He was shocked that his little sister was involved in this. He asked about Ella. Bonnie had told him I ignored her for Ella. I told him the truth. I didn't need to, but I still showed him the emails and chats where I had cut off all communication with Ella after the confrontation. He wasn't entirely on my side, but he wasn't resentful toward me either. He said he didn't know what to do now, that he was in a dilemma. I told him I understood and that he didn't need to take sides. He asked if I was serious about the divorce. I said yes, and that Bonnie was planning the same. So it's better we part ways amicably. That's all that's happened so far. Update 3. This one's going to be shorter. After meeting with me, Bonnie's brother cleared things up with their parents. Apparently, Bonnie and her parents were blaming him for introducing me to her life. So he revealed the whole truth, and eventually, Bonnie confessed the same to them. He texted me and apologized. Bonnie tried to involve her parents and brother to get a better divorce settlement from me, but they all left her to deal with her issues alone. She demanded a hefty alimony, but my lawyer was firm. Since she earned quite well, he didn't let her get anything from me. After a lot of back and forth on the terms of the settlement, the divorce was finalized. I haven't had any updates about her since then. Last week, her brother called me. During the divorce and even afterward, he sometimes texted me, but only to check in on each other. We never discussed Bonnie. This time he brought her up first. He asked about Ella. Honestly, I downplayed it and said we weren't sure yet. He told me Bonnie's condition had worsened and she had to be put in therapy. Her lover had left her. There's no better way to say this, but the lover realized she's a swinger who jeopardized his stable marriage in a cheap show of emotions and that he couldn't trust that woman. He had promised Bonnie he'd divorce his wife once our divorce was settled, but he ditched her at the last moment. Good decision. He dodged a bullet. I'm not sure if his wife knows about all this. Bonnie isn't foolish enough not to have contacted her. I'm sure she would have tried. She would have tried by all means to destroy her lover's life after he betrayed her. But I don't know anything about it, and I didn't ask her brother either. As for me, I've settled in quite well in this new city. I upgraded my car, fixed up the house. It's not luxurious, but it's a cozy place that matches my taste. Oh yes, I forgot to give details about Ella in the last update. So yes, we're together now. After our last meeting where she wanted to stay out of this mess, I didn't contact her, but she occasionally texted me to check on me. Gradually, we started talking regularly, and I gave her updates about my divorce and stuff. We're not an official couple yet, but I find her very mature and understanding, the kind of person I'm drawn to. We still have to confess our mutual feelings, but unofficially, we already are, and I think she feels the same about me. Subtly, she had told me she's looking for a monogamous relationship and would under no circumstances tolerate any kind of polygamy. I assured her she could trust my words, and I completely understand her. I also want to take things slow. Tomorrow is Ella's birthday, and she wants to celebrate it with special needs kids at the childcare home, and I'll be taking her there. I've made all the arrangements, and it'll be a surprise for her. I'm sure she'll love it. She really loves kids and is also associated with NGOs that work with children with special needs. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having a great time with her.